So, number one is, sorry, rock and roll. 2 Crimson Guard in space. That's number one. Number 2 is 2 more Crimson Guard, this time at the Jungle Laboratory. That's number 2. Number 3, there's the Baroness. 2 Cobra Troopers plus the Baroness at the Jungle Laboratory. Well, at least she's already there. Now, a Nemesis, by the way, has a special feature, which is that the Nemesis attaches themselves to the lead character, or and picks one basically at the location, and latches onto him. And as you can see, at the end of an enemy turn, if you have no cards in their hands, they are automatically defeated, which is rough. But that's why she's a Nemesis. So she and 2 Cobra Troopers deploy to the Jungle Laboratory, which automatically panics the laboratory, even if it isn't up to its maximum number. And let's see, that's 1, 2, 3 deployments. Here's number 4. Hey, look at that. A single Cobra dude to the space station. I knew there were some singles in here somewhere. And the last one, 2 Crimson Guard to the space station. Okay, swap that guy out. So that's not enough to trigger a panic at the space station, happily, but that's not great. And we got the Baroness, but we got a lot of people there to fight her, so we're in pretty good shape, I think. We may end up taking out the Baroness first. So this is going to be exciting. First thing we're going to do, I think, is move Rock and Roll over, because that's going to be 4 cards from the Baroness plus the 4 Troopers, so that's going to be 8 cards. We're going to need all hands on deck. So we're going to move him over so all 4 Joes can take on the Baroness and her guards. And didn't think they're going to start getting interesting. So it's quite the fight going on here. We got 6 energy at the start. Let's see, we got a Cobra Trooper right here. Crimson Guard. Another Cobra Trooper. And another Crimson Guard. Well, at least nobody's fast, I guess. But you start at the top left and work your way across. So no matter if it was fast or not, it'd be the start of that row. But the Baroness would go first nonetheless. So her first card is fast anyway. Each hero draws a card, then discards 2 cards from their hands. Wow, that sucks. Next, same thing. Ouch, double ouch. Wow. Then, fast and guard, deal 3 damage. The hero who suffered this damage discards a card. No wonder she's got that at the end of an enemy turn. They're out. While this card is in play, the energy cost of all combat cards is increased by 1. Wow. Wow. Okay. And to defeat the Baroness, we have to defeat all 4 of her cards. I guess we'll attach her to Cover Girl. Or Sergeant Slaughter. Maybe Sergeant Slaughter. So. He's going to be focusing on her, apparently. And the Baroness is fast, so first thing that happens, unfortunately, is each hero draws a card, then discards 2 cards from their hands. But first, but wait, there's more. At the start of the game, or at the start of the battle, we're going to trigger the Armadillo for 5 Troopers worth and gain 1 energy for each Cobra Trooper, which in this case is only 2. Is that worth it? Maybe. Actually, maybe it's better to use this one. Yes, it's definitely better to use this one. So for 6, we're going to use the Snowcat. For each Crimson Guard at the location, deal 1 damage to an enemy card. So there's 2 Crimson Guard, and that costs us 6 troops, which is a lot, but it actually costs us 5 if we choose to use Cover Girl, but I don't think we will for that quite yet, because she can only do it once per battle. Deal 1 damage to an enemy card. And it can be any old enemy card, which is kind of nice. And so that's 2 damage total. And I think we will do that 2 damage to her next attack. So her ability, each hero draws 1 card, then discards 2 from their hands. Well, Snake Eyes only had 2, so we'll draw 1 card. And discard 2. That's just painful. So I guess it's going to be everything but the stealth takedown, because he's going to run out of cards otherwise. For rock and roll, discard a rapid fire and a rapid reload, because those lay on the triggers are powerful. And Sergeant Slaughter, Eternal Vigilance, and Slaughter's Marauders, I think, because it's getting hard to hang on to cards. And finally, Cover Girl. Draw 1. That's easy. She's going to discard Yojo, although that's a lot of energy they have. Maybe it's better to hang on to that. So we'll get rid of Tank Girl, which is painful. Maybe we'll get rid of Beautiful Driving. There we go. Okay, that was painful. All right, finally back to the Joe's turn, or at least the start of their turn. Okay, well, I just realized something. Notice we got a guard here and a guard here, so we can't put the damage there even if we wanted to. But we can put it here because that's a guarded spot. So that's great. Now we're going to have to do something else. Otherwise, for this turn, it's going to trigger, and that's going to probably take out, well, it will take out Rock and Roll with Baroness's ability, because that'll empty his hand. It'll also take out Snake Eyes, because that'll empty his hand, because he'll have to discard 2. So she could likely take out half the team, which wouldn't end the game yet, because we still have energy back at the base to handle that. But I would rather not have 2 guys out and be down to 2 energy back at the base. So you can, on your turn, flip extra unused action points to gain additional energy. So here's what we're going to do. Cover Girl is going to spend an action. Sergeant Slaughter is going to spend an action. And Snake Eyes is going to spend an action to add 6 more. 2, 4, 6 energy to the situation. Cover Girl is then going to use her ability to subtract 1 from the cost of something to burn these 4 last dudes to trigger the Armadillo, which will give you extra energy per Cobra dude there, so that's 2 more energy. And let's see, what's that bring us up to? So, with 14 energy in hand, Cover Girl is going to play Yojo, which I can't imagine a better scene. All 4 of them charging up against the Baroness. This attack deals an amount of damage equal to the amount of energy spent to play this card. You may divide it among any number of targets. So she discards that. So we have to subtract 1 because it costs 1 extra because of the Baroness's undercover agent. So we lose 1 to the activation. But now we can play him wherever we want, but we have to follow the guard rules. So we do 2 more to that, which will just count as damage tokens for the moment. And then we got to do 3 to this guy. Whoops. So that's 5. So we still have numerous ones left. So we'll use 4 to take out this one. Whoops, don't need that many. And then we'll use 3 to take out, oh boy though. We still got that one, but it hasn't triggered yet. So we'll use 3 to take out this one, so everything else doesn't cost more energy. And we got 1 left here, which I think we'll put on the Viper Strikes. So that burned literally all of our energy, but thanks to good old Yojo teamwork, this one is done, so we can survive, because otherwise her skill would literally just wipe the board with us at this point. So 3 of the 4 cards are taken out. We got this 4th one, but she's already done it, so it can't hurt us anymore. This one, he's out of the game, because that took him out as the other guard character. And this guy has 1 damage. All right. So that was the play. She used her Yo-Jo. That was her action. She can't do anything else. We still have some more tokens. Snake Eyes has another one, so I think we'll flip that to put 2 more energy back in the pot. Now it's Cobra's turn. The Baroness's action has been taken out, so nothing happens. Now it's back to the Joes. And I think we will use Cover Roll again for her 0-cost engineering victory. Replace 1 empty slot on the power board, so draw another vehicle. Gain 1 energy and deal 1 damage to a person of your choice. So, gain 1 energy, draw 1 card, which is Jump Jets. I had that, I remember that. Roll 2 dice. For each damage rolled, the hero shuffles 1 card from their discard pile into their deck. Wow, that's awesome. And do 1 damage to anybody, which is going to be this guy. So that takes him out, thankfully. Puts him on the board. And look, that now gives us 2. Which we are immediately going to use, I suspect. Who on, though? Everybody's hurting. Rock and Roll is the worst, but maybe we can wait a minute on that. So that's her turn. So the Cobra goes now, and she has another dead card. Now it's back to the Joes. So now it's going to be Rock and Roll. 1 attack card, 2 attack cards, 3 attack cards, and 4 attack cards. So this will be a 5-dice attack, and the next one will be a 6-dice attack. So 5-dice attack, targeting this guy, actually targeting the Baroness. Good old Rock and Roll. And that is enough to take out her last card. So the Baroness will be out, which is going to be awesome at the end of this battle. So good job, Rock and Roll. Cobra's turn. Her last dead card goes back to the Joes. Let's see. Sergeant Slaughter doesn't have much going on. Snake Eyes. He will try his stealth takedown, but we'll do it on this guy who only has 2 health down here in the corner, in the hopes that he can retain it, because that's the last card in his hand for this fight. He gets 1 hit, so he loses the card. So he's out of cards in hand. That kind of stinks. Back to Cobra. This one goes. And now... Rats. Looks like Sergeant Slaughter's got to do it. And he will use 1 energy to do the inverted suplex, to do a 2-dice attack. It doesn't have the fast or guard keyword, so it's just the 2 dice. Versus the Cobra charge. Good job, Sarge. 3 damage is enough to take him down. Back to Cobra, dead card. Now there's 1 damage left. The only one who can do it is either Rock and Roll or Sergeant Slaughter, who's just going to stud up and Cannon Lariat for 2 damage right to this guy. Don't even have to roll for it. He's out. Almost none of the characters have a card left in their hand, which means they're all really close to losing. But Yo-Jo, they win, and they take out the Baroness, which gives you 1 bonus free vehicle when that happens. So the panic is gone from the jungle laboratory, as well as all the people. We still got half a board that's pretty dangerous, so we still need to do some work on here in the near future. But first, we're going to trigger a recovery for Snake Eyes. And now, let's see, I think Rock and Roll is going to use one of the recoveries to do 6 shields back himself. And lastly, we'll use this one for Cover Girl. And finally, we flip a new vehicle card since we used the other one. And we draw the flak. Use this card before a hero rolls dice for an attack and add 3 dice to the attack. That's a nice one too. And I think we're going to use the jump jets right now for 2. Roll 2 dice, and for each hit rolled, a hero shuffles 1 card from their discard pile into their deck. Roll 2 dice, and 3 dice, or 3 cards. I think we'll use Rock and Roll for that. Any 3 cards, which is... So the problem with everybody being in the same spot is nobody can move over and trigger an attack based on how many moves we have left. But we're going to move Rock and Roll over to here, and we're going to move Cover Girl over to there. And we're going to move Sergeant Slaughter over here. That way everybody's at least in a position to do something. And that brings us to the end of the round. Okay, so here we go with deployments one more time. 1. We got Crimson Guard heading to the space station. 4, 5, 6, that's the maximum, so that panics the space station. Oh, there's 1 extra guy. So he spills over here, that's already panicked, so he comes over here. That's not awesome. That's on the very first one, too. Second one, 1 Crimson Guard to New York City. Nobody's been there in a while. That's 2, 3, here comes the boss. The good news is, you defeat the boss, you win the game no matter what else is going on. And they're going to the Jungle Laboratory. Okay, well, Destro automatically panics the Jungle Laboratory. This is not awesome news. That's 3 out of the 4 zones now panicked. Next up is 2 regular Cobras to the Jungle Laboratory. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can actually absorb that there, thank goodness. 5, 6. And we got a shuffle. Okay, so shuffled up, and the last deployment is 2 more Cobra troops to the Jungle Laboratory, but they can't, so they go to New York City instead, because the jungle's full, apparently. All right, nothing else matters. You beat Destro, you win the game. So, start of the round. Roll and Cover Girl are both going to run back. Sergeant Slaughter's definitely not going to be left out because this is too cool. Forget Scrap Iron. Let's see, then we're going to use a recovery action on Sergeant Slaughter so we can get more things back. And we'll burn this one for Cover Girl, and we'll burn this one. Let's see, Cobra Trooper number 1, Rattler, so that's fast, but not faster than Destro. He'll be going first. Another Rattler. And another His Tank Assault. Okay, well the bad news is with those 2 being guards, that'll cover these 2 top cards. So whatever Destro gets dealt out, we'll unfortunately have to take those stinking things out first. So, first Destro card. Surrender or Face Extinction. Deal 2 damage to each hero and increase it by 1 for each damage on Destro cards. Wow. Wow, so you gotta take that out in order. It is foolish to resist. Another 5. Drain 2 energy. If another Destro card has been defeated, drain 4 energy instead. Huh. Can we do 10 damage in 1 round? Another Surrender or Face Extinction, and this one's guarded. And Illicit Weapons Dealer. While this card's in play, each time a hero resolves an attack targeting this card, deal 3 damage to that hero. Wow. At least it's the last one. Okay, I think we will trigger our free vehicle from defeating the Baroness for the Havoc. Until the end of the battle, all 2-hit dice count as 3 hits when rolling hero attacks, because that'll be around for a while and probably real helpful. So that'll be a continuing effect. So now we'll draw cards. Cover Girl, let's see, we'll start with probably 4. since she's all the way back up to full strength. Beautiful driving, engineering victory, tank girl, that's good, and another beautiful driving. So those are pretty effective cards. I don't think I want to draw. Well, what the heck. Engineering victory, another one of those. Gain an energy and deal a damage. Those deal a damage to someone of your choice can actually be pretty handy. Sergeant Slaughter, we'll start with Candelaria, Eternal Vigilance, and Inverted Suplex. Rock and roll. We'll risk 3 cards to start. Rapid fire, heavy machine gun, focus fire. Yep, that's all good. Snake eyes. Stealth takedown. Deadly counter. Mikimoto blade. Coordinated strike. We'll do 5. And another Mikimoto blade. Okay. I think we may start off with rock and roll. Let's see if we do 3. Nah, why risk it? We'll just start off big with the big energy because we have extra actions. We can add energy as we need to. So we'll do with the 5, 6 dice. We won't trigger his ability to do automatic, or instead of re-rolls, adding extra dice. So 6 dice, taking several energy. 2, 3. So that leaves us with 3. And wow, that's more than enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Too bad you can't spread those out amongst multiple targets. So takes him down. That is excellent news. Let's see, Snake Eyes will burn one of his actions to add 2 more energy for free. Now Cobra goes, and Destro's first card is inactive, thank goodness. And now we have to take the next one out. Oh, you know what? We'll burn Snake Eyes' stealth takedown in response to that right off the bat to do 1 damage to another card, which is going to be this one. Because it's pretty much burn it down or die at this point. Let's see. Well, I don't think anybody's got anything better, so we're going to use one of CoverGirl's Beautiful Driving because we've already used a vehicle card. So it'll be 3 dice for no energy. Let's see, we haven't killed off any Cobras yet, but we got to keep marching through those because those are terrible. 2 damage. Well, that's bad news. So that's the turn. He goes, drain 2 energy. If another Destro card has been defeated, drain 4. So that takes all their energy. At least it didn't damage everybody. 2, 3, 4. So everybody's going to burn another action. That's pretty much everybody's actions at this point. But 2, 4, 6, 8 energy. And we've got a guard up, so we can't do that. We're going to have to take that one out instead and live with that one because the guard effect. We'd have to take this one out first, and we don't have anything that lets us do multiple attacks. It's got 3 damage, so we will use 1 energy for his Mikimoto blade, which seems weird, but it's a 1-die attack followed by a 2-die attack. So if we get lucky, we'll be able to bounce it around, but we'll see. That's nothing, and now it's a 2-dice attack. So that's 3 more hits thanks to the Havoc, which is enough to finish this one off. So now Cobra goes, and Destro's Surrender or face extinction, deal 2 damage to each hero, increase it by 1 for each damage on Destro cards. So everybody takes 2. Oh, cool. She bounces it. It goes to the bottom of her deck. Sergeant Slaughter takes 1 and then bounces that one. So that's good. Whew. Rock and Roll loses a lay on the trigger, but otherwise survives. And Snake Eyes over here loses 1 and bounces that one, thank goodness. But it does send it to the bottom, which is kind of annoying. Okay, that could have been worse, though it was not great. Let's see, what's this one do? Oh yeah, it deals 3 damage to that hero when you target this card. Wow, so somebody's gonna take 3 when they do this. So that's probably gotta be Cover Girl. That one's down. Okay, but we gotta defeat the guard ones first. This does nothing else, which is kind of nice actually. So that's kind of a free turn. Hitting one of these guard ones is definitely more worthwhile. So we are going to go after one of these guys. And we will use, I think, Rock and Roll. So Focus Fire for 1 energy, and then the next time somebody attacks, they get a reroll, which we can then trigger this thing to add 2 dice instead. So rolling 3 dice and targeting this Hiss Tank Assault. That's 4 hits, so that is enough to take that guy out. Which is great, because that puts him over here. Destro goes, and this one happily doesn't do anything, thank goodness. Back to the Joes. That's going to be the last card we attack, for sure. And I don't care about discarding the APC, but I'd like to keep the flak. So we are going to spin these 3 guys using Cover Girl's ability once per game, or once per battle, to activate the flak, to add 3 more dice to our next attack. Let's see, because we took this guard out, we can focus on him. Whoops. And so we will use Beautiful Driving again. So it'll be 3 dice plus 3 dice because of the flak. So here we go. That is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Takes out this one. And now this guy goes, the Rattler, so it drains an energy. And discard the APC. Okay. Let's see, how does this read? Each time a hero resolves an attack targeting this card. Well, this is not an attack, it's a maneuver, so I think we can get around that. So we are going to use her Engineering Victory to put a new vehicle out. It doesn't really matter what it is. The Killer Well. Reduce the energy cost of all cards by 1 to 0. That's cool, because it's going to get discarded here in a second anyway. And she can put 1 damage on any target, but it doesn't count as an attack because it's a maneuver. So obliquely doing damage. And gain 1 energy. So next up, the Rattler goes. Discarded energy and the vehicle card. Okay. Next up, we'll have a free turn. So can we do more incidental damage to this guy? We can do 2 immediate damage. He's got guards, so that would pick up an extra die for 3 dice. Can Sarge take it? I don't know that he can, but rushing Destro to take him out. I mean, I don't see how we can not have an inverted suplex slam by Sergeant Slaughter versus Destro to be possibly the best last play of the game. So 2 dice plus 1 because it's got guard on it. He's only got to do 3 damage. If he rolls any double damage, that counts as 2. So here we go, just like it shows. 1, 2. So that does 2 damage to him. I don't think anybody has a reroll. Let's see. Deal 3 damage to that hero, even if the card is defeated. And I think, can we trigger Snake Eyes? No, that's revealing a card for defense. Oh, well, which we could. So, okay, so Sergeant Slaughter has to take 3 damage from that. So he's got 2 cards left in his deck. When he's down to 0, he's dead. Or, excuse me, defeated. But the clutch stops it. But he loses the clutch. Now he's only got 1 card left in his deck. However, when he does that, we can trigger a deadly counter. Play this card when any hero reveals a card for defense, add 1 to that card and deal 1 damage to an enemy of your choice. So we will do 1 damage to Destro. Now, that's going to cause Snake Eyes to take 3 more damage. So 1, 2, and bounces another deadly counter, so that's a relief. So he's got 2 cards left in his deck. As soon as Rock and Roll has to do something or he gets hit again, he'll be defeated. Because he has 1 card left himself. So, Destro goes down. The boss has been defeated. This Cobra troop does nothing. So they just have to survive this one, which deals 2 damage to half the heroes. But first we have a Joe go. And the only one pretty much who has anything left is Tank Girl. So she is going to do a 3-die attack for 1 energy. Because everybody else is pretty well out of attacks at this point. Except for Snake Eyes' Mikimoto Blade, but this one's 3 dice, so it's much better odds. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is enough to take it down. So there you have it. G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Sarge, Legendary Snake Eyes, Cover Girl, and Rock and Roll managed to barely take out Destro, the Baroness, completely ignored Scrap Iron, who, if you think about the cartoon, he always slips away anyway, so not a surprise. I hope you enjoyed it. If I made any mistakes, which I'm sure I did, because there's a lot going on in this game when you're playing all 4 Joes by yourself, let me know. In any case, I had a blast, very thematic, having Sergeant Slaughter basically punch Destro out, followed by Snake Eyes saving his bacon with the deflection. It was pretty awesome. So there you go. I'm Ray. This is TinyTableGames. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.